Think about the last thing you bought online, or the last video that kept you awake at 2 in the morning. Ask yourself honestly, did you choose to look at it? Or was that decision carefully manufactured for you 3 weeks ago? Every single time you unlock your phone, you aren't just opening an application. You are stepping into an arena. On one side is your biological brain, evolved over millions of years to seek comfort and patterns. On the other side is a supercomputing cluster running behavioral algorithms designed by some of the world's sharpest engineers. Their only objective? To predict, influence, and monetize your next reaction. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It is a business model built around behavioral design. Early on, the internet was simple. You wanted a tool. You searched for it. You used it. But as technology matured, companies discovered something far more valuable than the product itself: your attention. If a service is free, your attention becomes the business. Every second you stay becomes another opportunity to influence what you see next. To win that attention, companies had to stop simply building tools and start engineering behavior. Because once your attention became the product, the next problem was obvious. How do you keep a human being coming back? The answer wasn't simply better content. It was uncertainty. Most people think dopamine is simply the chemical of pleasure. It's more complicated than that. Dopamine plays a major role in motivation, learning, and reward prediction. And that distinction matters. That is why uncertainty is so powerful. If you know exactly what you're going to see next, the brain has very little reason to keep searching. But if the next swipe might reveal something surprising, you check again. This is called a variable reward. You don't receive something valuable every time. You receive it unpredictably. And that unpredictability can make the behavior remarkably persistent. And suddenly, the action becomes almost automatic. You see something, you react, you swipe, you get another result. And before you consciously decide to continue, your thumb is already moving. And the system is learning too. Every pause, every replay, every swipe, every time you stay 3 seconds longer becomes another signal. Over time, the feed doesn't just know what you've clicked. It begins building a statistical picture of what you're likely to respond to. And that's the trick. The system doesn't need to know exactly what you'll do. It only needs to become very good at predicting what you'll probably do next. And if the system can predict what keeps you watching, the next question is obvious. Can it predict what makes you buy? Modern commerce doesn't have to show everyone the same thing. It can learn which products, images, prices, and messages are most likely to get a response from you. But prediction isn't enough. There is always a moment when the customer hesitates. And that hesitation is where psychology enters the interface. Because a calm decision takes time. Urgency makes it feel like time is running out. You've seen the language. Only 2 left. Sale ends tonight. People are viewing this right now. Sometimes these signals reflect real inventory or real demand. Sometimes they're marketing devices designed to create urgency. Either way, the psychological effect is the same. The cost of waiting suddenly feels higher. That's where a powerful psychological bias takes over: loss aversion. The possibility of losing a deal can feel more urgent than the possibility of gaining something new. But here's where the loop closes. Your hesitation is data, the product you opened, the price you considered, the moment you almost left. All of it can become another signal about what makes you respond. And once the decision is made, modern interfaces remove as much friction as possible. Save payment, one-click checkout, autofill. By now, the distance between wanting something and owning it has never been shorter. But the purchase isn't the end of the process. It's another piece of information. The system learns what worked, and that knowledge can influence what it shows you next. And now the system knows a little more about you than it did before. Not because it read your mind, because you taught it. The algorithm learns from every signal you give it. Every click, every pause, every replay, every purchase, every moment you choose to stay. It isn't reading your mind. It doesn't need to. It is simply learning patterns from the signals you repeatedly give it. But prediction has a weakness. It depends on repetition. If you change the pattern, you change the signal. Start with something simple. The next time an algorithm recommends something you want to buy, don't buy it immediately. Put it on a wish list. Close the tab, then wait. Because the goal isn't to prove that you can resist. It's to give your conscious brain time to catch up with your impulse. Second, make the phone less stimulating. Try grayscale. Removing the constant flood of color won't make the algorithm disappear, but it can make the interface a little less visually seductive. And third, remove the interruptions you didn't ask for. Turn off non-essential notifications. Move distracting apps away from your home screen. Make the automatic choice slightly harder. None of these tricks are magic. They're small interventions, but together, they change the distance between an impulse and a decision. The technology hasn't changed. The recommendation system hasn't disappeared. The feed is still there. What's changed is the moment between stimulus and response. The system can still recommend. It can still predict. It can still persuade. But awareness gives you something the algorithm can't automatically supply, a reason to stop. The algorithm doesn't need you to be powerless. It only needs you to stop questioning why you're doing what you're doing. The moment you recognize the loop, you can step outside it. No algorithm can make every decision for you, but it can make the automatic decision incredibly easy. So create the pause. Take back the choice. Now I'm curious, what's the one app you think steals the most of your attention? Tell me below. And if this changed the way you look at your phone, subscribe for the next investigation.